Hello and welcome to Sonyabeonit channel. Today is all about eat my grits. That's correct. I said eat my grits because before it's all over with, you're going to want to eat my grits. Today I'm going to show you how to clean grits because a lot of people didn't know you're supposed to clean grits. I'm going to show you how to prepare grits, and guess what? We're not going to do it over the stove. We're going to do it in the microwave because we all know sometimes when cooking grits, you don't know exactly how long to cook the grits. And then you run into the problem when you check it on the grits, it splatters all over you, you get burned. And my thing is, when a lot of these companies advertise their product, it's like false advertisement, because if you take a look at this Quaker grits container or this package of Quaker grits, it's white. But when you open it up and pour it into your bowl, you have black specks and all kind of stuff floating on the inside of it. But I'm going to show you how to achieve this look and have precise, cook, smooth, and creamy grits. So with that in mind, let's get started. Okay, here are the things that you're going to need in order to prepare your grits. The first thing you want to do is make sure you have a large microwavable bowl that's going to be large enough to accommodate your grits. This is optional. These are some shrimps that I've deveined on both sides that we're going to deep fry. Well, we're not going to deep fry. Let's take that back. We're going to saute these on the stove using only butter. The next thing you're going to need is the grits. You're going to need the grits itself. It doesn't matter what kind of grits you have. I'm going to show you the correct way of cooking grits because it is very important. When you're cooking grits, you need to clean grits first. The next thing you're going to need is margarine, and that is optional. You don't necessarily have to put that in it. And some people may want a pinch of salt. That's optional as well. And then I'm going to use some cheese. That's optional. But the main thing we want to do, I want to show you the correct way of cooking grits. We're not going to do it the old traditional way of cooking it on the stove because it takes a little time. And as you can see on this package, and this is what is so misleading to me, and I hate when companies do this just to make a sale. It says quick 5 minutes grits. Now anybody that knows how to cook grits, it's going to take you longer than 5 minutes to cook grits. In order to get it precisely the way it says on the package, where it says smooth and creamy, it's going to take approximately 25 minutes to cook this grits. So with that in mind, this is what I'm going to do. The first thing I'm going to do is use my measuring cup. I'm going to use 1.5 cup of grits and pour into this bowl. Let me go ahead and open my grits. And I want to pour, let's go from this side. In my cup, the first thing I want to do is pour 1 cup. Okay, that's a cup. Second thing I want to pour is, a half a cup. Okay, now we're going to go over to the sink. But before we go over to the sink, this is what I want you to take a look at. If you look inside of this bowl and look on that package, let's do this. Let's take a look at the package first. Do you see how smooth and creamy that presentation is? That's misleading because they know you cannot cook grits in 5 minutes and your grits gonna come out looking like that. It's either gonna be gritty because it's undone, or you take a possibility of having it too much water in your grits. Now we're gonna take a look at these grits. As you look in this bowl, there are a lot of black specks in your grits. You're supposed to, and a lot of people don't do this, don't know this, but I was always taught to clean your grits. And what's gonna happen once we go over to the sink, and you have to be careful with grits because I have found worms in grits. You can find worms in grits, whether you know it or not. They're dry worms. As you can see, they have black specks everywhere. We're gonna go over to the sink. Now what we're about to do now, we're gonna clean the grits. We're gonna do this several times, so you gotta be patient. You gotta have patience with this. We're going to the sink, we're going to clean it, and you must have patience. I'm going to show you how to rinse it, clean it, and we're going to refill it with 4 cups of water when it's all said and done. But you're going to lose a little grits. So once we finish cleaning the grits, you're going to end up with probably about a cup. Now for 1 cup of grits, that would feed, I want to say, around about 4 people. Because we all know that grits expand, and that's what's going to happen in the bowl. So let's go over to the sink and get started with the cleaning process. Okay, the first thing you want to do is turn your water on. You can turn it on hot, cold. It really doesn't matter what the temperature of the water is. You're going to take your bowl, place it under the faucet, shift it just a little bit, because everything that's not supposed to be in here is going to float to the top. Let's turn that water off for a second. Can you see those black specks floating to the top of your grits? It needs to be clean. Do you see all those specks in there? We're going to gently pour that off. Let me move this faucet because I want you to see this without pouring all of your grits out. You're going to hold it and gently pour. Do you see all that coming off the grits? Don't get discouraged, because some of your grits, you're going to lose a little bit of it. But that's fine. And you're still going to have enough for your family. Now you see what's left? So we're going to have to rinse the grits again. And you're probably going to do this several times. Now when it's all said and done, you're going to have 1 or 2 specks inside of it. I want you to go ahead and take a spoon and just pick those out. It's just going to be a few. Some more is floating to the top. We're going to rinse that off for the second time. See, I'm going to lose some. That's fine. This will make our 3rd time. And every time I do this, there's more and more that's coming to the surface. That's probably about my 4th time. I'm probably going to do it about 6-7 times. I think I'm going to do it one more time, because look at the difference. With the exception of a few specks. You can either stop at that point and just pick those out with a spoon, or you can keep going. I want to do it one more time. Okay, that's it for me. Rinse this out, rinse my sink out. Okay, I did that probably about 7 times. When it's all said and done, look at that. Do you see the difference in that? You see 1 speck. I'm going to take my spoon and I'm just going to lift that up. That's it. That's all that's left of that. Now, we're going to bring this back over to the counter. We're going to use our measuring cups. That's probably still about a cup of grits that's remaining in this bowl, and this still will be enough to feed your entire family. Or you can feed yourself with half of this, put some up, and when you go back to eat some more, just put I see a 4th cup of water in it and heat it back up, and it's good once again. Let's go over to the counter and begin to put our water inside of a bowl of grits. At this point, we're going to go ahead and fill the bowl up with 4 cups of water. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to take this over to the microwave, and we're going to set it on a high temperature or a timing of 25 minutes. We're not going to stir. One thing too, I want to mention, once you put your water inside of here, you don't have to stir it. You don't have to do anything. Just place it inside the microwave for 25 minutes. let's go over to the microwave. Okay, let's go ahead and place this in the microwave. Do not stir or anything. You're just going to place it in the microwave. We're going to put it on a timer of 25 minutes. And let it start. Okay, while grits are cooking, we're going to go ahead and rinse the shrimps off. And we're going to go ahead and saute this in the skillet on the stove. I've already deveined these. Clean them and devein the shrimp. So I'm going to rinse them off real good. And you don't have to really put shrimp in your grits, but if you have never tried this before, it would be nice to try something different if you're not allergic to shellfish. Okay, I'm going to take a lot of that water off of there. Okay. So we're going to take that over to the skillet and begin to saute this in just butter. That's it. Okay, let's start sauteing the shrimp in the skillet. We're going to go ahead and preheat the skillet for about 30 seconds or so. It's getting hot. As you can see, it's flaming up. I didn't want it to get this hot, but let's go ahead and get started with that. You're going to take 2 tablespoons of margarine, place it in your pan. We're going to go ahead and allow that butter to melt. Turn my owl up to a higher setting. And the reason I'm going to turn it up to a higher setting because earlier I rinsed off the shrimp and they still have some water. So when it enters the skillet, I don't want it to start boiling. I want it to actually fry or start sauteing in the skillet. When it's ready, it's going to begin to bubble like this. Drop a few pieces in. It only takes a couple of minutes to really cook them. Let those begin to fry a little bit before adding some more. That should be enough. You always want to make sure that the skillet is hot enough and your margarine has melted and it begins to sizzle, because if you put wet shrimp inside butter, it's going to break loose with the water and it's going to absorb in the butter, and then it's going to start boiling rather than sauteing. We're not going to put anything on these. We're not going to put a whole lot of butter in here because when we pour this on top of our grits, we're going to use the sauté sauce from the butter and reduce a little bit from the shrimp. You want to keep tossing, because if you don't, what's going to happen is your margarine is going to start to burn and your shrimp is only going to be cooked on a certain side. You want it to cook evenly all over, because as I stated, we want to use, let's turn that down to about a 3 or 4 now. So that's almost like a medium low heat. For the last probably 30 seconds of this minute. Because we don't want that butter to burn, but we do want fully cooked shrimp. Okay, we're down to our last 12 seconds on the microwave with our grits inside the microwave. We're going to take this out together. I want you to see this as I take this out. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take that out. Be careful when you're taking it out. You can tell if it has been disturbed or not. I have not done anything to it. It has like a little of like a light film on it. We're going to take this over to the counter. Also, we have finished with our sauteed shrimps. They are ready. Let's go ahead and go over to the counter. We're going to stir these grits up and get that started right quick. Okay, our grits are done. We're going to go ahead and stir it. You see that film on it? We only have 1 or 2 specks probably left on top. We can go ahead and take that out if you wish, or just leave it like this. Now, we all know grits tends to get stiff very quickly. Even if you have smooth grits, it's going to do that. But with the smooth grits, you have a little bit more time to eat it. So, I mean, it's one of those type of food you can't take 30 minutes to an hour or 30 minutes or so or longer to eat your grits. I'm going to take my spoon and And watch when I stir it. Look how smooth that is. It has no lumps. No lumps at all. What you're seeing is a little bit of the film from the top, and what you're going to do is mix that in. There's not a lump anywhere in this grits. There's a little thickness to the grits, just a little bit, slightly. And the reason being is I like to add my margarine inside of the grits because my family like to have everything already mixed in it. We all love butter and cheese in the grits, but I didn't want to do this presentation that way. But that is smooth. You have no lumps in this grits. Look, there's no lumps. Smooth, no lumps. And that's what you call smooth and creamy grits. I'm just going to take a little bit and put in this bowl. And the reason I'm doing this way, I don't want to mix everything up together right now. We're going to go ahead and get probably about 2 tablespoons of margarine, which can be a bit much. You don't have to put, you don't even have to put any margarine in it. If you want to add margarine and cheese, butter, whatever you want to add, that's fine. But I really just wanted to show you the correct way of cooking grits. Let's go ahead and put. We're gonna mix this up right quick, and we're gonna put them in bowls. So I took 2 pieces of cheese, and this is probably about a cup and a half of. Because when you're doing margarine and butter, you want it to be creamy. You want to be able to taste the butter and the cheese together. Look at that cheese. And still no lumps. Let's go ahead and put that in a plate, in a bowl. So this would be, that would be your bowl of grits with the cheese. Let's stir it up a little bit more. This would be your bowl of grits. You can eat it plain, or you can use like a tablespoon of margarine, plus a little salt if you prefer to put salt in it. The last one, smooth and creamy grits. We're going to go over to the stove. Shift that around because we want just a little bit of butter on it. And we're going to do okay, that's the one with the grits and the butter. And if you want, you can take a little of that, just a little bit, not a whole lot. That's all we have left over. There you have it. 3 bowls of Quaker grits. The first one we have is the grits with the butter and the cheese in it. We have one with just plain butter, and we have one with sauteed buttered shrimps. Enjoy.